Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Family Reflections. I'm your host, Keddy Emmanuel. Today, I'm joined by a guest that, remember last episode when I was speaking with little Shantaye, I was saying, yeah, boy, we need to get big Shantaye. We need to get big Shantaye in here, I'm happy to announce that she's here. She's here. She's with us right now. And we're about to have a great conversation. I'm so excited to introduce you to this phenomenal actress, right, who did an awesome job. And let me just give you a little bit of context, right? I'm saying she did an awesome job as somebody. Let me just lower my mic volume for y'all here. So I'm saying she did an awesome job as somebody who has seen drafts of the film. Have you seen a draft yet? Yes? No? No? All right. No. So I've been a part of this post-production process. So I've seen these scenes and I've seen what she's done, but she hasn't seen a lot of this stuff for quite a while. So I'm in a very informed position to say that she did a great job, and I'm really excited about this. So her real name is Antonia. I'll be saying Shantaye for some of this episode. Y'all know me going back and forth. But Shantaye, can you introduce yourself to the world? Say hi.
Hi guys, I am, like Keddy said, my name is Antonia. Played the role of Shantaye, and this was just an awesome experience. It feels so surreal being here talking to you about the film. Which is what, 4 years ago we started?
Yeah, it's been a few
years. But this was a wonderful experience, and I am very excited to be doing this with you and talking about the film. Looking forward to all of what you're going to throw at me today.
Yeah. Listen, I'm excited to talk to you, man. I really am, because I'm very intrigued in what the process is like for different folks. So kind of what I want us to do here is kind of take a walk through the journey with you. But even before we do so, I'm going to tell y'all, this is a rule. I have to say this: like, share, and subscribe. Tell the people, share the link, tell the people, about what's going on here. If you like it, only if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do anything. Whatever. But if you like it, just do us that solid. And share the link and like and do the things. Okay. So that being said, walk us through the journey from how did you even hear about this? How did you end up auditioning for this? What happened here?
So it's a crazy story. So this is me in my class, and your mom goes after whatever she wants. And I see this lady walking through my door. It was lunchtime. So I see her walking through my door, and she asked for one of my past students, actually little Shantaye. So she wanted to know whether I had taught any student who I thought was bold and, the characteristics of Shantaye that we were looking for. So I'm like, yeah, actually, I have somebody in mind, and I think she will do a good job. And then she was about to leave, and then she said, but, I actually need a bigger version of Shantaye. So I said, okay, well, I hope you find somebody, wish you all the best and everything. But my sister-in-law was in the classroom with me at the time. And then she blurted out, oh, but look, you have an actress right here with you, so why don't you try? Nobody was talking to you. Yes, and so she said, oh, then and she gave me all the info for auditions. Make sure you come, ma'am. Telling you it's at 3 p.m., whatever. Make sure you come. So that's how I found out about the film. And that's how I found out about the audition and everything. The day of audition is a whole other story. Everything went wrong.
Hold on. But just before we get to that, right? Before she mentioned that you were an actress, all right? You had to actually be doing stuff, right?
Well, the truth is, she said not just she sees me as somebody for a lot of Zafe. So I mean, and teaching grade ones, I mean, of course you have to be a bit of a, a clown. You have to become all things to all men. You have to, So from that perspective, and also because of church, from very young, I would have been involved in plays, Easter productions, and all of that. So, yeah. So that was the background that she was, using.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So just for our benefit here, when you participated in those Easter plays and those initial small productions, did you find a love for acting there, or how did you feel about acting from then?
An immense love. I loved acting. Doing Shantaye's World was on a totally different scale. My nerves were through the roof because you had so many people watching, and oh my God, that's a whole other thing. But in church, and I think it's because I started from very young in church, so I was comfortable with the audience because you know your church family, and so it's more of a comfort zone. My classroom, I mean, I no boundaries. I'm the clown. I would do whatever I need to do to get my point across, to get the concept across. But then this other thing, auditioning in front of strangers and getting the script like 2 minutes before you go on stage because I was late for the audition. Yeah. So
tell us about that audition story.
Oh gosh. So I think it was, I was excited about the audition. I was so excited about the audition that when I came home that day, I took one of my lipsticks and I wrote on my mirror of the lipstick. So I wrote the date. It's still there up to now, 29 December, 2 p.m. It's still on my mirror.
Okay.
So I wrote it out, and my promise to myself is to wipe it out when the movie is released. So it's still there. I can send you some shots.
I would love a picture of that. I can put it right here in the episode.
No problem. So I was excited leading up to it, but then it was around the Christmas season, so everybody was a bit busy. And then I remember not being able to get dropped off at the venue like I expected. So I think my dad was busy that day, or he wasn't around. So I had checked this other friend. I'm like, oh, I need to go to there soon, and I need to get around. He's like, no, okay, no problem. And then when the time came, for some reason I couldn't contact him, and then I'm trying to call my brother. It was just it was just craziness. And I had this friend with me, and she's like, oh my gosh, Tones, what should we do? I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a bus and try to get there on time. Then I sat on the bus and I'm looking around, and the bus is empty, maybe about 3 people. So I have to wait until it is filled to move off. And all I'm thinking is, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm going to flop. When I get there, everybody looks like they're well composed. I saw Jacques-Claude. He has staying in the corner and he's practicing. I look around. Well, at the time, I didn't know him. I had not met him before. So I just saw everybody just getting all prepped and looking. I'm like, oh my gosh. So as soon as I got there, Mrs. Emmanuel just dropped the script in my hand and told me, you're up next. I'm like, so she pointed me to the paragraph that they would be focusing on. And I think that was the scene where, I don't think I can talk about that scene.
Well,
but it was a very emotional scene with Jacques-Claude and I.
It's basically a separation scene, right?
A separation scene. So I'm like, oh God, you need to help me with this because I am so flustered. But in the end, it worked out because I'm like, okay, this is an emotional scene. Let me just channel all my nervousness and everything. So this is what helped the tears to flow for that audition. And yeah, it worked out in the end. I mean, here am I.
We actually have that audition. And folks, I'm going to take a little tiny piece of that. I'm going to take a little tiny piece of that, if you're okay with it.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I'll put it right.
I wish. There's nothing I can do. Peter, you know how that is. I wish there was a way. Trust me.
And we're back. So it did work out, right?
Yes, it worked out. It worked out. I channeled every bit of nervousness. I'm like, let me put this in. Of course, I put in my own lines because I couldn't remember what I just saw on the paper.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah. And then I looked down and I saw all these judges.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well-acclaimed actors. And I'm like, oh gosh. Yeah, but it worked out.
Okay, so now we've come through the auditioning process, and then you get the call. It's like, hey, so you got the part.
Yeah,
What was
like
that?
I did. Yeah, I mean, I was very proud of myself, but I was also very grateful to the producer and everybody else involved, because I know there were quite a few people who auditioned for the part. And I was okay with getting another part if I didn't get that main part. I was okay with being the friend or being, whatever. But so I was very grateful, very grateful.
Okay. So,
and I did not expect the journey to be this extravagant. In my head, okay, this is probably just going to be like just like probably what I'm used to, maybe an Easter production or maybe a community film. But then the more we went into the scenes and into the filming, I'm like, this is way bigger than I thought. I didn't sign up for this. Yep.
So tell me, we don't want to spoil the story, but tell me in the best way that you can, what was your most difficult scene? What was really the most difficult thing to connect with? And how did you overcome that obstacle?
So I wouldn't say one particular scene, but I would say it was a few scenes. What I found what happened to me was that anytime there was a scene where I was super sad or angry, it would I would go home and then like it would linger. So I would be in a bad mood. And I only picked up on that months after. And then I realized, but no, wait, every time, if we're doing a happy scene and okay, everybody's good, party, whatever, I go home and it's fine, it's normal. But then when I do, it's like it offsets my week. And then I realized, okay, I need to maybe some kind of debriefing or some kind of activity that I need to do, maybe listen to music right after and just, I realized that this was an issue for me. It really affected my moods. Yeah. I probably went too deep in. Yeah, it affected my moods.
Yeah, and acting can be very powerful in that way, because if there's anything that I've been taught growing up from my mother, it's that if you're trying to act and you're trying to be something, you're not really doing it right. Yeah, like you have to actually be that person. In that moment, you were Shantaye.
Yes, and that's the problem, because shedding all these tears, and you have to put yourself in that place, and you have to say, okay, this is me. This happened to me, and So then after, because what we would just like, okay, when we say cut, everybody's done. Okay, the day's over. It was such a hectic day. And either we go out, either we go to the shed and we eat, we laugh, but then I don't think it was sufficient for me. I'm not sure if anybody else had that experience, but for me, it wasn't sufficient to like get out of that zone. Yeah. I mean, your mother is incredible. Your mother would snap from being Catherine Emmanuel to being whatever she needs to be in a split second. Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I learned a lot from her. Yeah. So
yeah. In fact, and guys, I'm going to show you guys a clip of this, right? I'm going to show you right here. So.
What? What? Come on.
So, and that in this clip you just saw, right? My mom in Nana's Paradise, who happens to be my mother in real life, she was beaten by her husband. And when I played Owen in that scene that day,
You cried?
the makeup not only cried, the makeup was done a little too well. The blood, the way it looked, it really snapped. So I was fully into character. So when in that scene, when I'm storming out of the room and I'm like, why that visceral emotion. Oh yeah, that was real. And after that scene, I really just had to stop and just sit down and really because I was shaking. I had to sit down and compose myself,
Wow.
because you just get so deep into character. And
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So I can resonate.
Yeah, and she helped me in a great deal because it's like I would feed off her energy. Yeah, there was that scene that we did. Oh my gosh. And just looking into her eyes, and it's just something that I can't even put to words, but it was just me feeding off her energy, and it became so easy for me to get into character and stay into character and do what I needed to do. Yeah,
absolutely. So tell us a little something about Shantaye, right? You had to embody this person and bring to life this story of this young girl who is bold, brave, beautiful, and defiantly intelligent. and so I remember a scene where somebody's telling Shantaye that she can't do something, and your response to that is like, I can do anything that I need to do. Right?
Shantaye thought she could do anything, she could be anything she wants to be, nothing stopping her.
Right. So tell us a little bit about Shantaye. What are some of your favorite things about the character of Shantaye and playing Shantaye?
One of my favorite things about Shantaye is how sure of herself she is. You will when it premieres, we will see in the film how so many obstacles from her childhood, so many things stood in her way that could have broken her spirit, but that didn't happen. She didn't have a spirit of entitlement. That's not what it was, but it was just that she was so bold. She was so sure of herself, confidence. A lot of what I think young girls growing up should embody, just the boldness and just the I am worthy and I know that I am, and nothing that would come my way is strong enough to change my concept about myself.
Right.
So I love that about Shantaye.
Oh yeah,
Love it.
I think I can say the same.
Yeah.
She is. I think for me, what I enjoy the most about Shantaye is she is unapologetically herself.
Yep.
At every moment, every second of the film.
Uh-huh.
And even the novel as well. Guys, I'm not sure. Sorry?
I said I cannot wait to read that novel.
I can't wait for you to read it either. I feel like you'll read the novel and learn even more about this person that you brought to life. And I think you might really enjoy that. She's herself at every moment.
So you said you've seen snippets of the film. So can you compare the film and the novel?
I like the novel better.
Okay.
But the reason why.
Yes, though.
Sorry?
I said that's always the case.
Yeah.
That's always the case. The novel is always better than the film because you can compact so much in there.
Absolutely.
It's so much easier to just put it on paper than to bring it to reality.
Yeah. And it's like the novel brings Shantaye's community to life more. You learn more about
the traditions.
The traditions. Also, you learn more about Edson, your father in the film. It's a more expansive view of the world that is Shantaye's world.
Yes.
And
Yeah, for some reason, that's what usually happens when you have a novel alongside a film.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the critics always say, I prefer the novel. Yeah.
Yeah. And the novel's basically done. I shared a video of the Ianola team.
I saw that.
Yeah,
Yep.
plug. If you're not in the Ianola team yet,
you're missing out.
I mean,
yep. What you doing? What you doing with your life?
She said it, not me. Okay. But you know, it can happen for you. You just have to click the button. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that as well. Now, by the way, I'm going to just push this in here because I don't want to miss this. Right? You're a very multifaceted person, right? You're an entrepreneur, and then you're a teacher who's flummer in the classroom, and you're active at church, and there's all these sides. So I kind of want to speak to the entrepreneurial bend a little bit. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're up to there?
Okay. In the month of May 2020, I started a cake business, a cheesecake business, out of sheer boredom. So picture this: COVID had just touched our shores, and of course, school was closed immediately after we had our first case, and I was home, and it was, I mean, there was no structured online teaching in place as yet. So the students and teachers were sent home, like just out of the blue, like bam, go home. We have our first case. Everybody ran for cover. So
everybody's scattered.
Yeah. So I was home, a lot of free time. And I'm like, okay, I need to get busy because this is going to drive me insane. So I started just spending a lot of time in the kitchen. I was doing everything from pizza to cinnamon rolls to chicken wraps to everything, corn dog, everything, cheesecakes, all kind of cakes. And then I would post on my WhatsApp status whatever I did for the day. So then, people would be like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. And then one time I posted a cheesecake that I had made. And a few days after, somebody sent me a message and it was like, oh, I have this friend with a birthday. How much do you charge for your cakes? I'm like, oh, he thinks, wait a minute. I think he thinks that I actually sell cakes. So in my head, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to tell him that I don't sell cakes. So right away, I just thought of a price.
Started selling cakes.
I'm telling you, I'm like, yeah, I sell cakes. I didn't know that about myself before, but I know now I sell cakes. So then I just gave him a price and he came to collect when it was time. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have time on my hands. I love doing this. I'm like, hey, so like the week after, I just organized like a cheesecake special. I'm like, hey, we have an introductory special. Come get your cakes at that price. And man, I started taking pictures and made a flyer. And that was the start of Talisa's Tasties.
Can you tell us again, Talisa's?
Talisa's Tasties. So Talisa is my middle name.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's my brother's name backwards. Yeah, my father did these things. So I just chose to use my middle name and use it for my business. Play around with the words.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like it. Talisa's Tasties.
Talisa's Tasties.
Okay.
Check me out on Instagram, guys. Plug.
Instagram?
Yeah.
All right. So
plug in. Check me out on Instagram.
It's going to be right down here right now.
Okay, right here.
All right. Yeah, definitely check her out and support. Buy all the cake you can. Buy more cake than you need to. Buy cake for your friends and your auntie and your uncle. Okay. All right. Yes. Let's support her. Let's give her more business than she can handle. That's what I want.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Is Instagram the best way to reach you, or?
Well, I have a WhatsApp business number as well, so I could share that as well.
Okay.
Would you like me to check now, or are you going to put it in after?
Yeah, you're gonna tell me, and it's gonna be right here while we're talking.
Okay, sure. So, yep, you can hit me up on WhatsApp and place your orders 714-7939. Very easy number to remember.
All right, it's right down here, and it's glowing for you guys. All right, so check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. So knowing, okay, and I really like the way that I like that origin story, right? I like the way it started. I think it's so interesting how new ventures and new businesses come out of,
Yeah, not so pleasurable experiences.
Yeah, because you were doing this for fun, right? You were doing this because you enjoy doing it.
To pass the time and to, stay busy. Yeah, right. That's what it was. And then somebody thought that I actually had a business, and I was not about to tell him that I didn't.
Now, here's what I'm wondering, right? Were you about to say something else? I hope I didn't cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good.
Oh, okay. So I'm wondering, you have all of these sides, right? The teaching, the tasty side, and the actress side. Yes. How would you say that all of these things are sewn together to make you?
That's sewn together. That's the thing. I don't think they're sewn together. Okay, yeah. So there's Shantaye, there's Miss Charles, the teacher, there's Talisa, the baker. How are they sewn together to make me me?
Because
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
I think
no, go ahead.
I get up and I just, whatever the day presents, I just do what I think I need to do to be productive and to be effective. Right. And I always say, one of my mantras is that, if I can't do something to the best of my ability, if I can't do it with excellence, then I rather just not do it at all, because, that's a stamp of excellence is everything for me. I don't want to do anything that looks shabby or anything that's halfway. So for me, that's all it is, just doing it and going out and being my best. And that's what God desires of us as well, to just be our best self. So that's what I do. I don't really think about, okay, should I be Shantaye today or Talisa today or Miss Charles today? Right. But yeah, they all come together to make me. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I really want to stress that. I want to stress what you just said in terms of putting your best foot forward. There's someone in my life told me at one point not to die with your potential. And that really stuck with me. Our cemeteries are just filled with potential.
Yeah.
Potential creatives and doctors and lawyers, potential
that the world never got to see.
Yeah. So let's not let that be us. Okay. And that goes for everybody.
And there's so much that we can do that we're not even aware of. So much that we're capable of. Just like, for example, I never saw myself as a baker, like owning a business. I never in my wildest dreams thought of that. I always wanted to own my own business, but I loved decor and interior design. So I just always thought that's what it would be. I love the kitchen, yes, but not as a business.
Right.
But here I am. Yep.
And that's how life works. We're all constantly evolving, finding out new things about ourselves. Yeah.
And I always say good is the enemy of great. So when we settle for something, good, okay, this is good enough. Nope. You can be so much better. You can be great, man. Don't settle for good. That's the enemy of great. Aim for more, stretch for more. You can be better.
We need to offer you a permanent position on this podcast. No, because you're offering gems right now.
No, I hate this. I'm trying. I'm so shy.
Good is the enemy of great. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's really good. I really like that. Now we were starting to run low on time, right? Which is how great conversations go. But I wanted to ask you, in a perfect world, right? Just travel with me. Come with me.
Yes.
To this perfect world. right?
Yes.
Then snap our fingers, whatever we want.
And we're in this perfect world.
Yeah, anything comes to pass, right? So, how does acting fit into your life in this perfect world? Like, what are you doing? What productions might you be involved in, or are you creating your own? What's going on?
In a perfect world, I love history and documentaries. I watch a lot of those. So in as much as initially I would be shy, but as soon as I'm in that zone, I forget about everything else. So I definitely see myself, on stage doing probably historical films or documentaries, true life experiences, and that kind of art. Yeah, I see myself doing that. I don't know how it's going to fit with teaching and all of that now, but yeah.
Right. And that is very fitting because, guys, for those of you who don't know, still at this point, Shantaye's world is in and of itself very historical.
Yes.
Yeah, we've done everything we can to capture the time period
Yes.
in this film. So,
and I love that historical bit. Yeah, because I love museums and these kinds of So the whole storyline of Shantaye's world was very intriguing to me. I love it.
Yeah, that's right up your alley.
Right up my alley. Yep.
I have to tell you, only a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I was just, you're bored, you're going to sleep, whatever. Out on Netflix, and I was looking at a documentary on World War II. World War II was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I know this is random, but
yeah,
guys.
No, it's actually not random. We're talking about history and documentaries, right? So
right.
I mean, I'm sure generations to come will look back at Shantaye's world and see some of the things that were portrayed there and be like, what? That used to happen before? Like, I mean, yeah.
And not even that. In fact, I'm going to remember something very specific here. This was somewhere in the book. But it's somewhere in the book, and I think somebody passed out, something along those lines. And somebody took her hand and put it under her arm to get her sweat, in the crevice, like the best sweat. Your best sweat, not your clean sweat that you have on your face.
The best, the most potent sweat.
The strongest, Lord, they actually play four. And she got that, and she put it under the person's nose to try and wake the person up.
Yeah.
And I was working with my mom, working on this book, and I got to that part, and I was like, what?
Like, why?
What we doing? Why are we doing that? And she's like, no, back in those days, that's something that they would very well do.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I understand, because you learn something in that moment. And I had a lot of these moments as we were filming, a lot of things that I did not know about my history. I learned it because, there were little inputs of this and that. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this was how that was done, or, but just going back to what you said about that scene where somebody passed out. Do you know that on the set that somebody actually passed out for that scene, where it was a very sad scene and they were saying goodbye to someone, and she actually passed out. And yeah, I think your mom thought that she was, so in the moment. And then we realized, but wait, she's not getting up. And she was on the... Okay, now I can laugh because, but in the moment we're like, wait, but it's a bit, hey, we're done.
Yeah.
She was still on the ground.
Yeah. If you tell me who the actor might be, the viewers and listeners won't know, but I might.
What? No, Chrissy.
Yes.
Yeah. So Chrissy actually fainted.
Oh man.
for this sad scene. So she was like this waving, and then we just saw her hand going down like this, and we just saw her eyes were just like, and then next thing we knew, she was down. She was on the grass, and I was like, man, she's really into character. She's good. Look, Leati from the Punjab.
Yeah, she's God.
Yeah,
Oh.
she was good.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't serious though, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad we didn't have to use the best sweat to revive her.
Oh yeah, I'm glad about that too. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think over time, and I have no doubt that with the release, and guys, I have some bad news for you. This is just between me and you. It's not you, it's me. But yeah, it's not that funny. But due to circumstances beyond I know Pictures' control, we have had to postpone the premiere. And I know you vex, but we still have a date. That's what I want you to focus on. We still have a date, right?
Yes.
And the new date is April 17th, as opposed to February 20th. And the reason why I'm telling you, don't be vexed with me, right? The reason why is because, there's a lot of government regulations, necessary regulations, due to Omicron and all of these things. Thankfully the numbers are beginning to go down. So
yes,
that looks very positive for our April premiere.
Man, I was so psyched up for April 20th.
You mean February, right? Yeah.
I mean February 20th. I was so psyched up.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one. But what cheered me up and what I hope cheers you up is we still have a date, April 17th. And I want to tell you how serious this is. We're ready to pay for this. I have the invoice. We are settled. Settled. See the hands? On April 17th. All right. So I'm just letting you know. Okay. I'm letting you know. I hope you're not too disappointed. But the reality is everybody wouldn't have been able to be there anyway. But we're done. We're done. Movie's done. And we're gonna premiere soon. Okay. Now, one thing I found very interesting, right? And this is probably the last thing I'll say before giving you the floor to mention any questions or anything that you have for me. I found it very interesting how both you and Colby, I like to call him Colby the Great. I just thought about it. Both you and Colby said the same thing regarding shyness.
Oh, really?
But there's a separation that happens once you begin performing. And I believe that's probably true for a lot of actors, where do you think that comes from? How do you think that works?
I can't even fully explain it. Even when I try to explain, people are like, oh, sure, whatever, that's not true. I'm like, no, I really get nervous. Like, I don't know where it comes from, so I don't know why, but it happened. Even for this interview, I mean, when you first contacted me and told me that you wanted to, like, no. I mean, like I told you, I tried to think of an excuse why I can't do today. And I'm like, oh, don't do this, Antonia. Just go ahead and do the thing. It's just that, the first thing that happens is the nerves just take over. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't do this. Yeah, and it was like that every single time just before I started, I would be nervous. And then I would just shut it out afterwards and just do what I had to do.
Yeah, and I think the nervousness becomes fuel once you actually get under the gun.
Definitely experience that. Channeling the nervousness and, getting into whatever scene or whatever character that you need to.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, I know you are an extremely busy lady and you're going to be even more busy after this episode because you. If you viewer listener watching right now, you're going to order from her. You're going to get a cheesecake you know, you're going to get something. All right. But
Thank
with that being
you.
said, I want to open the floor for you. You have the mic in your hand.
Okay.
Any questions that you have for I Know the Pictures? Anything you think that people might be thinking right now? Anything you want to talk to us about before we head out of the door?
I think we touched on so many things. I just really hope that there is a great appreciation for our history and the culture and the effort that was made to, put in so much about St. Lucia into this film. I'm looking forward to that appreciation. I mean, your mom did an amazing job. She in finding so many aspects of St. Lucian culture that was some were even buried. Some I didn't know about. So I appreciate her efforts, and I just hope that St. Lucians, the Caribbean, and the world would just have that appreciation for her work, for what she has done as a producer.
Absolutely. And it's one of the things that inspires me weekly to work on I Know the Pictures, and do our best to ensure that we're doing the best we can with marketing, the best we can with reaching the people that we need to reach to get this story heard and get this story appreciated. I think the journey of the Windrush generation, these Caribbean people that came from Trinidad, St. Lucia, and Barbados, and Jamaica, and went to a foreign land where it was cold, and oftentimes conditions were actually worse than where they left. And they experienced racism and they experienced so many things and pushed through in spite of those things to provide for their loved ones at home, create new opportunities. And
that story is still going on today with the Windrush generation.
Absolutely. It makes us proud to be Caribbean, proud to be St. Lucian. And I think it should be inspiring to future generations to carry on with that spirit of hard work, excellence, determination, resilience. And particularly with Shantaye's world, I think it should especially resonate with young women in the Caribbean who are already driven and already ambitious and already educated, right? But to carry on even more so with being as strong and beautiful and intelligent as they are. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything is possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure the Windrush generation community, they will identify with a lot of things in the film as well. Yeah. Looking forward to that, and looking forward to the just them critiquing the whole thing. I'm looking forward to that.
In fact, I actually have an aunt, and this is the last thing. I have an aunt who saw I think some of the draft, and she really made my mom's day in that she told her, hey, this is how it was. This is what it was like. Yeah.
Wow.
And that's powerful.
Wow. It's almost as if your mother was there. Why was she so on point?
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah. So, Antonia, big Shantaye, right? It has been an absolute pleasure.
Same here.
I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure. I won't come again though. I'm just kidding.
She's like, "Pas moi, quoi." But
it was.
Yeah, absolutely. As always, guys, I'm always checking the dates. Yes, we had to push due to circumstances beyond our control. We had to push forward the timeline a little bit from last week. I did not forget y'all. But we are going to be back on the 28th. All right. And I'm not going to tell you who the guest is, right? But I'm looking forward to it. Okay.
Surprise guest.
Yeah. So see you guys on the 28th. Till then, stay easy. And we love y'all. Take care.
Blessings, guys.
Bye.